September 17th, 2020. 21, sorry. Looking at cars in the Sacramento region. I have a Craigslist addiction. Mostly classified ads, car gurus, anything of that nature. Typically, what I like to do is I'll just hit manual and just search. Right? It brings up anything in the area. Just stick. Pretty much search by that criteria only. Yeah, salvage title, hunk of garbage. Um, I'm just always interested in what's out there, weird stuff. Um, Try and find that weird stuff by just punching in select um, search criteria. I don't really get too carried away with make and model. Never been, ooh, yeah, see like that. Look, who wouldn't want that? That thing's sick. Sitting on BBS RK's early V8 car. I believe up until, I'm going to make a lot of BMW people angry here. What was it, 93? It was the 530, 94. I think they went to the 540. And the 530 is not a six cylinder, believe it or not. It's a small 3-liter V8. So this car's actually really cool. $8,500, a lot of miles, but I mean, showing some decent. I mean, if that's all, if you can take all of this to be true, not a half bad deal. You got the wheels alone worth a couple grand. Um, Coming adjustable front struts, Bilstein. That's kind of weird that Bilstein's in the rear, Cummins up front. I mean, man, for $8,500, cars are so expensive right now. That actually seems like a good deal. I might be out of out of pocket on that one, but not a bad car. Fun car, I'm sure. Dare to be different, huh? I mean, not every day you see a 95 540 E34 car. You see the E39s all the time, and they're really a dime a dozen. They're starting to appreciate, but nothing super crazy. Still a great bargain car. What I've been really shocked by as of late is the prices on these MR2s. I mean, always thought they were a joke. Never really interested in one until I started paying attention to the prices. And the prices started going up, and I thought maybe like, all those drift kids driving up the prices of Miatas. So the small, fun convertibles are getting rarer and rarer. So maybe that's what's going on with those. But man, that seems insane to me. That's an '03. It's almost a 20-year-old car for $13,000. Relatively low miles at 83,000, but I mean, God, I can't believe car prices right now. Makes you want to post up what you have and try and sell it. Really, though, car prices like that make these, right? Like, I get it. Not everyone's a Corvette guy, right? But everyone's an LS guy. At the bottom of your heart, you're an LS guy. It's 405 horsepower, 6-speed car. I mean, what more do you want under 100,000 miles? 20K. Okay, 2149. Sorry, not 21, not 20. 2149. So what are you talking, 23, 24 by the time you're out of that dealership for that car? I get it, 20-year-old car. It's an '04, '06, so you're right in there with some of the best years produced. I know the earlier ones, '02, what was it, '01, '02, had some issues with valve springs being weak, coming apart. They solved those issues in 2003, 2004. So this is really the desirable car. Other than the color, kind of got to be into yellow. Um, I'm a very practical person. Always, always function over form. So To me, yellow wouldn't be that big of a deal for what you're getting. That's pretty insane. Considering, you go out and spend 20 grand on a, these are fighting words here, but you could go spend 20 grand on a WRX all day long. You're going to get something that's twice as beat and going to last about half as long. I mean, I'm not even gonna look at that Terminator Mustang. $32,000. You have to be out of your freaking mind. Now another car that I'm starting to see just going crazy with the prices here. It's a '07 SI Civic. There was a time when you could pick these cars up, and I got a buddy who has one. Picked up for $8,500. Beat car. K24 swap. Nice car. I mean, nice car in the sense of a lot of stuff done to it. Limited slip, all kinds of stuff, but not a very clean car. And this thing looks clean. It's a $13,000 Civic that about 2 years ago was $7,500. I mean, I'm sorry if I hammer on this, but prices are just absurd. I mean, they really are crazy right now. I'd say if you've got anything you enjoy driving, just hang on to it. Drive it. Ooh, look at that. That's an oddball. That's an odd one. A lot of times you see ads like this that will say manual, or you got manual over here in the um, menu. And this car is truly a naturally aspirated 6-speed Outback. It's an oddity. As a new dad, something I'd probably drive, but I'd have a hard time with it. 9 grand, 151,000. Probably already had 6 head gaskets done. Sorry if it's a constant crap talk on Subarus here. I think it's me projecting my desire to own one at some point. Um, Not really in the mood for another project car though. I am, but again, just had a kid. I'm married. Purchased a house last year that I'm working on. So like really, I mean, if anyone's interested, I think it's cheap. It says it needs a turbo. It's a 5-speed car. Kind of says it's manual. You don't have a picture of the stick, so you never know on these ones. But not a bad deal. Turbo's not too terrible on that car. Oddly desirable car now. Ooh, where am I going? Hmm. Yeah, Fiestas be a fun little commuter car, but I don't know. I don't know if I can do one of those. No. This is an odd one because it says it's a GSR Evo 2011 with a 6-speed manual. Now, I was under the impression that these were only two options for the tranny in these, no matter if they're an MR or a GSR. They're either the twin clutch SST paddle shift or flappy paddle gearbox, or or they were a 5-speed. I did not realize that Mitsubishi produced an Evo 10 and a 6-speed, and I think this ad is probably wrong. Not going to be able to tell there. Correct me in the comments below if I am wrong, because I could have swore 5-speed only. Of course, I will research that later because I won't be able to fall asleep tonight thinking about that. But I think, yeah, see, manual 5-speed, and we've got up here saying it's a 6-speed, which that car didn't exist, I don't think. It's a tempting car. Seen it for a couple days now. I get it. They're garbage. They're cheap though. $6,000. So last year, I would much prefer the turbo car. It is a supercharged car, so it's a John Cooper Works package, which was a pretty oddball car. Some dings, dents, incredibly fun to drive, handles like a go-kart on the street, very quick, lots of fun. Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to put up with some finicky issues, right? That'd be a fun car. Um, God, is it worth it though? Maybe, maybe. Small cars, low power, actually more fun than you might think. It's one of the other things I do when I'm searching is I'll click owner, of course, because why the heck would you want to look at dealership prices? But again, everything out there right now is kind of crazy money. I'm really digging that E34. Man, if I wanted to have a constant headache in my life, probably wouldn't be opposed to that. Hmm. RX-7 clean title, or RX-8 clean title. Low miles, low miles 4 and 04, but maybe not for an RX-8, right? Those cars need a lot of maintenance, and I know I'll get attacked in the comments there about that. Just treat them right, they'll be fine. Sure. Was that car treated right? I don't know. 70,000 miles. I know what I'd like to do to a rotary motor, and that's beat on it till redline every shift. 06 Pontiac GTO, that's a, God, I don't know about any of you, but I played Need for Speed like a crack addict when I was in high school. And the '04 Pontiac GTO was always my go-to for that. Love that car. Love this soundtrack had with it, right? Like, sounded amazing. 30K. Damn. Go to Chevy and buy a new Camaro for that price. Kind of cool though, because I mean, really, it's the first of the, I'm gonna get this wrong, Zeta platform, I believe, in America. So really, that was the fifth gen Camaro before the fifth gen Camaro. That was kind of the predecessor to the SS, the Caprice cop car is what I'm speaking about, the police pursuit vehicle that is specific for that purpose. What other cars were based off that? Pontiac G8, Camaro, probably Cadillac CTS V at some point. RS, man, 40K. I can't do it. But an AP1 for 20. And this is what car prices have done to me. That made me insane because I keep looking at things that are 20 years old and $20,000, and I go, not bad. I mean, this is coming from a guy who's paid way too much for about a Ford Contour SVT for $4,300 5 years ago, like a moron. Um, Cheap JDM love right here. I mean, I don't know why the front fenders are that different color than the rest of the car, but kind of an interesting story. It's up in Klamath Falls, so Southern Oregon, so about 6, 7 hours away from SAC. Dude bought it while he was stationed in Japan, which is a fun story with the car, right? Like, how many times do you buy one of those, buy a JDM import, and you just have, it was an import, right? Just pulled out of Japan. I don't have a story with it. So this guy actually bought it in Japan and brought it back over. So kind of a cool story. 11 grand's not bad. A little sketch on those fenders. Can't even look at it. Can't even look at those EG Civics for $4,500. Um, Delica, that's cool. Um, yeah, there's not a whole lot out there right now. WRX 20. So like, right, for 2 grand more, I could go get that '04 Z06, and I get it. I get it. I can put my family in this car, go to the beach, but it's gonna break. Corvette, I can't put my family in the car, but I could put my wife in the car, go to the beach. Kid would have to stay home with the parents. Um, this car's kind of stupid. I mean, wow, are EK Civics really $15,000 car? I've owned one. I bought it for 1,000. Had a D16 Y8 in it, so it was actually the VTEC D16. And it was a fun enough car, being as slow as it was. But it was lowered, very much the same setup. It had SI wheels on it. It was a cool car. SI seats, SI gauge cluster, right? Like a lot of the SI treatment. But I don't think any day of the week that's a $15,000 car. I mean, God, I'll go buy an 8th gen. That's super, super clean um, for that price. I get it. The 8th gen and the EKs are different cars. I understand that. But you're getting a whole heck of a lot more car. And this is my argument with that kind of stuff is the 8th gen is already K series. And you're not dealing with swaps. You're in California, so you're gonna be able to smog that 8th gen much easier. Commute every day in it, not worry about it. 17 doesn't seem bad. One owner coming from a dealership, I'm assuming. This looks dealershippy, if you ask me. It does not look like a private seller, but man, let's get back to the color match, huh? That blue on blue. Is that suede door panels? I mean, dang, let's do it. I want to go back there. Bring that back. Oh, I think I'm on the wrong page again. Sorry, my trackpad keeps going back too far. Every time I click, it thinks I'm clicking 9 times or something. Triumph TR6. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, it's clearly a salvage title car. And that sucks. Oh, that's just a Lancer. What am I looking at here? Wow. Duped me. It's actually nutty to ask 11.7 for a salvage title. Lancer. RS4 for 35. Okay, so this car near and dear to my heart because I own one with about 62,000 miles on it. So very, very clean car. Um, this one is not 141,000. Runs great, short shifter. Shop said damaged right rear quarter. Repair for $2,000. Yeah, that's a rough car for 13. Well, oh, they're asking 12. That's a rough car for 12. That's a $2,700 car all day long. Low miles, one owner, and camera park. Yeah, I could take those cars or leave them. I think they're cool, but so salvage title. That sucks because at that price, though, I mean, at that price, that would be a fun oddball car. Key in the center console. How fun is that? That's a whole different sort of car. Now, if you don't know, the Viking cars were the high performance cars, right? So these were 250-ish horsepower. Um, They were a fast car. I think 0-60s in the mid fives at the time. So I mean, when you're looking at 2001, you're talking it's faster than some American V8 pony cars. Um, Man, if the car says salvaged because of rear right door, that's actually, I would love to see some before pictures. That's not a bad car. That would be an interesting car to own for about 6 months before inevitably something happens, right? Everyone always says the most expensive thing you can buy is a cheap European car. Probably botched that phrase, but I've definitely heard that. In Roadster, 15.5. Yeah, not a whole lot too exciting out there. This is absurd. This Granite Bay, I don't even understand this, man. Like, dang, I get it. Dude's a lot of work in this car, but that is a 20-year-old WRX that he has done some STI mods to, right? And he's trying to get away with calling this an STI. Yeah. Okay. DJ207. It's got the STI trans. I mean, it was installed at M45, so that makes me think the car's been well maintained, yet probably beat on, right? Like, yeah, overall comfort is sacrificed. It's loud in the cabin. Yeah, I've invested over 20,000. Yeah, man, but you're not going to see a whole heck of a lot of that. And that's the thing. It's like sometimes, like if this car wasn't Ford Rally RS Blue, if those were nice looking, not all sticker bombed STI wheels on there. I mean, that car doesn't present well. I've seen it in person out at the Sierra College Auto Fair. If it didn't have tinted taillights, right? There's a handful of things that just go along with that Subaru culture that I can't get on board with as a 30 some on year old man. And not, trust me, I saw these the whole time growing up, always wanted one, but like the Momo wheel, like people got to stop that kind of stuff. That's a rant for another day probably, and I know probably catch a lot of flack about that stuff, but I just don't think that car presents very well. It doesn't present as a $16,000 car. One solid color, maybe a factory Subaru color. I'm not gonna lie, that car in Subaru, what is it, World Rallycross Blue or whatever, right? WRX Blue, and those wheels in the original gold, bronze color, whatever you want to call it, it's a $16,000 car to me. Once you do that, because it's kind of true to the car, RS Blue throws it for me. Hmm. Ooh, 50. People are getting crazy out there. Look at this thing. 89,000. It's got Mazda Speed 6 wheels on it, or Mazda Speed 3 wheels on it. That's 89,000, 18,500. It's actually not that bad of a price, but that car seems sketch to me. Granted, all STIs seem sketch to me. One owner. Damn. Wide body installed paint is pretty good condition. Interior is okay. Cars on non-auto. This is 2013. Car needs cats. Wow. Yeah, car's been sitting since 2013. Of course, the works are gone, right? So like, God, that would be painful to own that and just realize how botched that is. What a nice car that could have been. Could, I mean, still could be if you want to pony up 18.5, which I feel like is absurd. Of course, I'm partial to these cars. It says 41,000 original miles on it, 347 stroker, Ford Tech, Tremec TKO 5-speed. I mean, cool car. Wouldn't pass smog or a gas station here in California. I think that's a hard sell at 15.5. I mean, if I'm buying a car that doesn't smog in California for 15.5, I'm going something crazy, right? Just something that's worth the hassle of hot smogs or registering out of state. I won't even look at that EG for $2,000. It's got to be a hunk of crap. Oh man, take a long time to get that next page. Eagle Talon ESI. These cars are starting to get real rare. Not necessarily the Talons. Talons have been rare for a long time, but the Eclipse GSXs and an ESI. Actually, I think what was it? TSI was all-wheel drive. ESI was turbo. No, ESI was the 420A. So that was a Dodge motor. That was a Chrysler motor, basically a what was it? 2.3 dual overhead cam that came in the neons. Kind of gutless, known for head gasket issues. Believe it or not, fun factoid, that was the motor that was actually in the Eclipse from Fast and the Furious. And the first one, Paul Walker drove the car, wasn't actually a GSX, was an all-wheel drive car. It was a turbo, well, non-turbo 420A front-wheel drive car. And I believe the noises for that car, the soundtrack for that car was, what was that? What did they use? I've heard that they've used a turbo Civic of some sort for the soundtrack to that car. Interesting car, 2013 Accord Sport. Always intrigues me because I've never shifted something so nice other than Hondas. Hondas shift amazing. Their manuals are incredible. And they, at least my old Honda, took the RPMs very, very well. Didn't care if you were at $6,000 or seven in eight even, it would go into gear. It was pretty amazing. That car kills it because of the salvage title for $12,000. Hmm. No, I don't want to look at that. It's not my kind of car. I mean, you want to be flashy, salvage title car. I mean, it's not bad. It's so expensive for salvage, though. HX Civic. 2000 ZM Roadster. High miles, but it's not bad. It's a 2000. So what was that? The S52, correct? And then I want to say 99, 2000 S52. And then 2001, 2002 were the S54. I'm not a huge BMW guy, so I think those were putting out 240 horsepower. Not a bad car. I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun. These cars, I don't really know where the um, main issues lie. They always look like something fun. They kind of, remind you of a Miata, but and actually a fast Miata. I don't know how reliable they are, though. Hmm. It's not bad. $5,900 for a Fox GT, not bad at all. Man. Yeah, so, it's kind of the interesting pick for cars in the Sacramento region. Actually, I'll poke on this last one here. WRX Wagon. Really love those cars. That is the 07, so 06, 07 that went to the 2.5 liter instead of a 2 liter. Everything prior to that was a 2 liter. These came with the 2-pot brakes in the back and 4-pot in the front. I don't know if these years, like the STIs, they changed their gearing. Not a whole lot of info for me on these cars, but overall, really cool car, interesting car, fun car. I think 225, 230 crank horsepower from the factory, 0 to 60s in the mid fives, if I'm remembering right. So like at the time, it was a fast car. Still is a quick car, still is a very fun car, but man, when you start seeing what they're asking for these things, um, you kind of get into other territory. 11's actually on the cheap side, I think, for this car, but I'm not saying I would pay 11. I'm just saying cheap side from what I've seen. Um, but again, you're dealing with all those same Subaru issues. One of the other tactics I use just to find interesting cars, is to just punch in here at the search JDM and see what junk comes up. Here, you're not going to find so much. This is a pretty interesting car. Too much money, man, but guy's got a lot done to this thing. Um, a lot done to this thing. 6-speed swap. What else? What else? EJ207. Wouldn't scroll turn. A lot of work. Interior looks really clean. Carpets look a little dingy. Interior looks clean. Engine bay looks pretty clean. His pictures aren't the greatest. He says the plasti dip's pretty bad on the car, but that's an interesting car. Um, Tons of work. If you're mechanically inclined, a good deal. Transmission was left and taken apart. Making noise. I don't know if that's a characteristic of that 6-speed that's in the car, but sometimes that's just what it is. I know my TR3650 and my Mustang is a pretty noisy tranny. It's not a terrible price for that car, but God, maybe you're talking closer to 7 if it really is just a noise. You can get away with driving it home. I'd say it's probably worth 9. Yeah, so not a lot out there in the JDM scene in Sacramento. So anyway, that concludes the Craigslist surf for the night. I think I've done this long enough. I'm telling you, it's a true addiction.